Hey guys, for those who are new on my channel, about 2 months ago, I got into the property ladder. I bought a house, a three-bedroom house here in the UK, and since then, that was about 2.5 months ago, and since then, I've been having loads of conversations with people who are looking at getting into the property ladder here in the UK, and from my conversation with tens of people, couple of people who reached out to me to like get more information about getting a house here in the UK and becoming first-time buyers. Many of them made or are currently making some mistakes that has made them ineligible to buy a house. And I felt there's a need for me to like have a conversation to talk about the things you need to do, the do's and don'ts, if you're looking at buying a property in the UK very soon, probably in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years. There's some things you need to start planning now before you think you're physically ready, or financially ready to get on the property ladder. So if you're looking at buying a house soon, then you sure do want to stick to this video till the end. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, please do well to hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Buying a house in the UK is a major investment, and trust me, it's probably going to be one of the most expensive things you're going to buy throughout your lifetime. And it's important to make sure that you get on that property ladder as quick as possible. And there's some things that you need to leverage on to help you save some amount of money to help you get on the property ladder with ease. Now, for those who have been following my own journey, I viewed the house I recently bought. I viewed the property mid-February, and I moved into the house end of April. So that was roughly about 2 months plus, less than 3 months from the start of viewing the house to end, to the end of the whole, buying process. So I felt that some things that I did right, and some of the things I did right were not things I did 2 months or 3 months before deciding to buy a house. There were things I've been doing for a couple of years before eventually making that first bold step to buying my first property here in the UK. Now, the first thing you need to do if you're looking at buying a house very soon is to start saving. And trust me, guys, when I mentioned the word start saving, it's not just something that happens out of the blues. If you're looking at buying a house, especially if you're buying a house down south here in the UK, you must have a budget of at least 40 to 50,000 pounds in your bank account to buy a house. And when I say a house, I'm making reference to three-bedroom house. If you're buying two-bedroom house with 35,000 thereabout, you should be able to get a two-bedroom house. All depends on the location you're buying the house. And if you're buying the house up north, have a budget of 25,000 to 35,000 pounds in your savings account. So you need to start saving that amount of money. I remember, when I am my then girlfriend, she's my wife now, decided we're going to buy a house. That was towards the, I think, the first quarter in 2022, when we were both dumping our tuition fee. We decided, okay, we're going to buy a house very soon. Let's start, saving up, and we decided to start saving a particular amount. I think we started with £500 monthly in each other's, in individual accounts. And at some point, we started saving all of those funds in one account. And yeah, and when we were ready to buy a house, we had enough cash to buy. And for us, we paid 15% deposits, which was quite a lot. And we were able to do this and still have like lots of emergency funds available for other things I would like to do. So the first thing is to leverage on saving a lot of money. And one other thing people don't leverage on if you're looking at buying your house as a first-time buyer is to leverage on the lifetime ISA. Now, if you're in the UK at the moment and you're probably on the skilled worker visa, and you have your family already with you on the same skilled worker visa, and you don't have a lifetime ISA, I really don't know what you're thinking, because the truth is, having a lifetime ISA, you get 25% of the amount you have in the account added by the government. So for example, if you save £4,000 this year, your wife saves £4,000 in her own lifetime ISA. At the end of the year, you're going to be getting £1,000 each from the government, making a total of £10,000. So you saved in £8,000 and you're getting back £10,000. Now, like, having the lifetime ISA is important for those who are buying their first property. If you're buying your second property, you can leverage your lifetime ISA. So you need to open a lifetime ISA account and start saving, so you get some amount of money, which is one thing we didn't do, and that was because of lack of much information. I knew about it, but I wasn't really sure I wanted to do it. So when I got my skilled worker visa and I was ready to do it, it was quite too late, because I was ready to buy a house before the year runs out, so I couldn't leverage on the lifetime ISA. So yeah, lifetime ISA is something you should definitely think about if you're looking at buying your house in the next 2 years or in the next 3 years. Now, another thing you need to do is to make sure you stick to your budget. Now, trust me, I've had conversations with people who, probably they're able to save like £30,000, and the next thing they want to do is to buy a house that requires them to pay a deposit of £30,000. You need to also have in mind that there are other costs you need to incur. I made a video. You can check out some of the videos on my channel. I think I did a playlist for house buying videos. I mentioned the things or the hidden cost of buying a house. Now, aside from your deposit, which is 30,000, 40,000 pounds, depending on your location, there's so many other costs you need to incur. So you need to make sure you have all of those costs, fashioned into your budget. Costs like, conveyor cost, solicitor fee, mortgage advisor fee, so many other costs, to be honest, survey, so many of them. So you need to make sure you have a budget and try to make sure that, you work with that budget while trying to get your first property. Now, another thing you need to also leverage on is to make sure you have a good credit score. Guys, having a good credit score is non-negotiable. If you have, 10% of your deposit, if your credit score is not good, the lender will not be willing to give you that money because you're going to be a high risk person. So you need to start building credit history, start buying things, on finance. Now, when I say buy things on finance, I'm not saying buy things that you can't afford. So this is one thing I do basically. If I'm going to buy a car, for example, and the car is what, let's say I'm not buying a new car, I'm buying, a fairly used car, and the car costs, let's say, £10,000 or £8,000. Now, even though I've got £8,000 sitting in my account to buy the car, I wouldn't buy the car with £8,000 in cash. So what I'm going to do is to do like a finance and pay for that car probably in the space of 1 year or 6 months, depending on how you would like to do it. So yeah, doing that, you're not hurting yourself in any way. You have the cash already, you're just willing to pay by finance. So it helps build your credit score. So building your credit score is something that is non-negotiable and you have to do. Now, another thing you need to also think about if you're looking at buying a property is to think of the location. This is really important. Now, for those who don't know, the house I bought now was not the first house I was ready to buy. Now, I checked so many other property, and there was one I was even, I had already paid a reservation fee. I was ready to go on with your mortgage process, and we had to pull out for some reason. And one of the major reasons was because I wasn't willing to stay in that location. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a story for another day, really. So yeah, the location is something that you also need to put in mind, because trust me, any location you're buying a house, you're going to be in that particular location for a couple of years, and you need to make sure that that location is where you would be willing to stay for a while. So those are one of the things you need to look out for if you're looking at buying a house very, very soon. Now, before you also buy a house, make sure you always do your survey. For us, I think we paid about £225 to make sure that a survey was done on the house, to make sure there's no problem, everything is actually okay with the property you're buying, because it's a major investment, lifetime investment. You need to make sure you're doing it the right way. Now, there's so many things you should not do if you're looking at buying a property in the UK. One of them is that don't increase your debt. And this is one thing I know someone recently was on the process of buying a house, and I don't know, probably because this information is public, everybody knows about it. I'm not sure why he made that mistake. While the mortgage advisor had already submitted his application for mortgage with the bank, he went to get a car in finance, and the bank contacted them a couple of weeks later and said, "Oh, we're not going to be willing to borrow this person this amount of money because of the new." So if you're buying a house, or if you're in the process of buying a house, increasing your debt is not a good idea. Hold on till you complete on the process, then you can choose to buy any car or any new stuff you want to buy, on credit. One of the things is that don't change jobs. Now, when I say don't change jobs, for me, I changed job during the mortgage process. So while the mortgage process started in February, I changed job in April. I had to move to a different organization because obviously I was moving to a new city. So that was quite understandable. And of course, they saw that the salary I was going to be earning in the new job was far more than what I was earning in the old job that I used for the application. So yeah, they were willing to still go ahead with the mortgage even though I was changing jobs. So if you're changing jobs, make sure it's changing job to a better job, not to a less paying job. Another thing is that please don't rush into buying a property in the UK. And as I said earlier, buying a house in the UK is a massive major investment. Please don't rush into it. Take your time. It's better to buy late and enjoy than to buy early and start regretting. You get what I mean? So don't rush into buying a house. Make sure you take your time, do your due diligence, and make sure you're buying the kind of house that you would want to. Now, one of the things that don't stretch your finance, and this is one thing I'm really key about. For those who are looking at buying a property, you need to make sure that after spending all the money you need for buying the house, the cost, the mortgage, the mortgage deposit and all of that, make sure you still have emergency fund. Now, this emergency fund is relative. For me, what I do is before I go into any major investment, I need to make sure that by the time I'm done with the investment, do I still have 6 month emergency fund in my account? So when I say 6 month emergency fund, this is the amount of money that I have saved somewhere untouched, that in situations whereby you're not making any income, you lost your job, you're still able to survive 6 months without any concerns. That's my own policy. I know people that they've got emergency fund for for 3 months, some for 1 year, depending on your risk. But for me, the minimum is 6 months. You need to have enough money in your account for 6 months in case you are not making any single income, which might not be possible in the UK, because trust me, there are lots of other survival jobs you can do if you lose your job. But just in case you can't even make any income, you need to have that emergency fund in your account. Don't save £50,000 and spend all the £50,000 into your mortgage, because you're still going to be paying monthly. You're still going to incur some cost after after that particular mortgage. So yeah, I might probably make a video on the things I wasn't aware of, or the things that I got to know when I got into the new house as a landlord here in the UK. I'll probably make a video on that couple of days or weeks time. So yeah, I hope you find this video insightful. You got an information. If you do, click on the like button. And if you have any question, please state in the comment section. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, do well to hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And by returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.